If this semester's show is anything like the last, the association will need all hands on deck.
For the fashion show, we accept everyone, all shapes and sizes, all races and walks of life. No fashion major is required.
Supporting local businesses is very important to the FMA.
We use local retailers in the fashion show as well to help with funding for the club and the fashion show.
The FMA wants to involve more people in the fashion show, particularly those with talents in styling, modeling, videography, and makeup artist. For Bobcat Update, I'm Savannah Inquist.
The team had, for the second consecutive year, the best win-loss record in the Sun Belt Conference during the regular season. Also notable was the winning streak the team put together with 9 victories in a row, putting them in lofty company in the NCAA.
The fact that they haven't lost a game in 2 years is really remarkable. It is the longest active winning streak in the country in the month of February.
The Bobcats' longest streak ever occurred during the 1994 regular season when they won 10 games in a row.
They've now won 20 straight games in the month, and they've never lost a February game since Terrence Johnson took over as the head coach. So that's a pretty big accomplishment for them.
The first round of the NIT begins on March 15th. 32 teams will compete. The championship game will be played at Madison Square Garden in New York on March 31st. For Bobcat Update, I'm Amanda Geyer.
Man, 2020's been crazy. I'll just start at the beginning. In the beginning of March, I got a promotion at my job. I work at Vans at the Barn Creek Mall in Austin. I do most of the stock work there. And basically, I put all of the shoes up anytime we get them in. We get shipment every day, and it could be upwards of 60 boxes full of shoes. Sometimes we're there till 2, 3 in the morning just putting up shoes, because that's the heart and soul of the business. On March 15th, I got a call from our district manager, Dustin, while I was at a Target with my coworker, George, and my girlfriend. He said, "Hey, Jeff," he said, "I need you to relay this message to the rest of the team. Tomorrow, the 16th, Vans will close the doors to all of their stores nationwide due to COVID-19. Need you guys to go in tomorrow, clean, sanitize, and lock it down." And so we did just that. It was weird being out of work. To make matters worse, we couldn't move apartments. I was planning on moving in with my coworker, George, my best friend and roommate at the time, Zach, and my girlfriend. And our apartment shut down. They weren't letting anyone sign new leases or move into different apartments. So we were stuck with our lease about to end. And George had nowhere to live. His lease had just ended. So at the beginning of quarantine, we packed up all of his belongings into mine and Zach's car and moved him into our apartment where he lived through the remainder of the quarantine. He lived out of 2 duffel bags with the rest of his stuff in the garage and slept on a futon for 4 months. And I can't imagine what it was like for him and how that was for him mentally.
Step on it, I'm gonna sleep there. I just walked out.
We were supposed to get a new apartment the week that you moved out of your former apartment, and then obviously lockdown happened, which really sucked, and we were both still in school. How did that affect your school and I guess your like mental health?
I guess school
wise, it didn't affect school. It didn't affect me like terribly, like school when it came to school. I think it was more of like trying to find my place like in that apartment because you did have two other roommates and like they also had their life and they were going about their day in their space, and I felt like sometimes when I had to take class would have to take it outside, or I would have to like find a little nook where it could be quiet, or in the garage. Like I took a couple classes in the garage, because like I just didn't want to like be in the way of like the people who live there, who pay rent there. So
But it became fun. We played a lot of video games. We all hung out. Even though we had one roommate that really didn't like us at the time. We, like I said, played video games all day, and we watched a lot of movies. We made a little fun game out of it where we had to find a movie that started with each letter of the alphabet, starting with A. It was a cool little escape from reality. Except that escape ended pretty quickly anytime we went outside. We'd go outside to go get groceries or to visit our favorite restaurant. We went to Thunderclouds a lot, the sub shop where my girlfriend worked, and we'd get food at least once or twice a week because we didn't want to go anywhere else. And it was really weird seeing no one outside and just having to be very cautious because we didn't know the full extent of what COVID was. But we got through it. Towards the end of quarantine, our apartment complex hit me up and said, "Hey, we have an apartment for you guys. You can move in 2 days." So that gave us 48 hours to pack our stuff and move it. But we did it. We moved to a new apartment on the other side of the complex. George got his own room. Zach, my best friend, got his room. And my girlfriend finally was able to move in with me. We spent a little bit of quarantine in there, but started to get back to normality as our work opened back up and we started going again. And it was weird and strange. And it's starting to feel like normal again. But what's not normal is we don't know what's to come, especially with COVID getting worse. No matter what this has done to us mentally, I think the takeaway from it is, especially for me, is as long as you have positive people that you surround yourself with, everything's going to get better. It's just going to take some time.